First at 11, Teen Talk, a behind-the-scenes look at a unique local program where teens spend their nights talking their peers away from the bottle. Plus, fire in the sky as a 6-alarm blaze burns high atop Boston's Federal Building. And a warning from Colonie police and high school football galore. It's all next here on the Night Team Report.
Ernie Tetrault, Liz Bishop, sports with John Graney, and meteorologist Neal Estano. Now, live, the #1 news in the Capital Districts. This is the News Center 6 Night Team Reports.
Good evening. Liz Bishop has the night off. Well, it's a Friday night that your teenager may have saved for fun and partying. But for most of the night, a group of teens has been working to help their peers with everything from alcohol abuse to suicide. Night Team reporter Marianne Worley is working on that story, and she'll have it for us in just a few minutes. Right now, it's about 1 minute after 11, time to get the latest from the Night Beat desk. We checked in with local police officers and firefighters. They tell us they've been handling a lot of routine calls tonight. Now, if you live in Colonie, beware. Police tonight are issuing a warning about a pair of burglars who have been pulling off so-called home invasion burglaries. Now, detectives say the suspects knock on the victim's door. They ask to use the phone or get a glass of water, and then rummage through the home when no one is looking. The two suspects are described as women with dark complexions. One is in her 20s, the other is in her early 40s. Police say both speak with European accents. If you see the pair or you have someone you don't know knocking at your door, call police right away. The number is 783-2811. And you may have the answers Troy police need for questions they have involving yesterday's fatal bus crash. Detectives tell us that 70-year-old Edward White was killed when he apparently stepped in front of a moving CDTA bus at Ferry and 4th Streets. Police say many of the witnesses were rushed away from the scene by emergency crews trying to help White. Now, if you know anything, call Troy Detectives at 270-4426. Well, a Columbia County man's dream came crashing down today, and it almost cost him his life. 75-year-old George Miller was taking his home-built light biplane out for its maiden voyage when he ran into trouble. A bruised but smiling Miller reflects as to what happened shortly after his takeoff from Kleinkill Airport in Ghent.
I think you would, I did something that would probably be described as pilot error. I made a left turn and probably didn't have enough flying speed to maintain the turn. That it seemed like my engine might have conked out on me, but I don't know.
What does his wife think about Miller flying again?
I just told him no more flying. I told him just to junk that airplane.
Well, Miller says he agrees with his wife. He is not planning to fix up the plane and take to the air again. The FAA is investigating. Flames shot high into the Boston skyline, and then a series of explosions ripped through the upper floors of a city high-rise. It happened at the John F. Kennedy Federal Building late this afternoon. Boston's fire commissioner says the 6-alarm blaze was sparked in a wooden water cooler which sits on top of the structure. A firefighter and a police officer were hurt in the fire. A sad note from the world of country music tonight. Veteran singer Tennessee Ernie Ford is comatose and in critical condition at Virginia Hospital, suffering from massive internal bleeding. His son says the 72-year-old legendary entertainer became ill with advanced liver disease last week. Well, the light at the end of the grim economic tunnel may soon be in sight. That tops off tonight's nightcap. The encouraging words came from President Bush, who says the new economic figures are one more sign the economy is recovering. The jobless rate fell 0.1% in the month of September. CIA Chief Designate Robert Gates was on the receiving end of praise today from a member of the Senate Confirmation Committee. David Bourne says Gates was quite forthcoming throughout the Iran-Contra affair. However, Bourne says he's not sure yet whether he'll vote for Gates. The debate over Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas has wrapped up its second day. The list of those who backed the nominee continues to grow to a majority of 54 votes, while those opposing Thomas stand firm on their feelings that he is unfit to handle the job. Jeffrey Hanlon will be extradited to Michigan. The 29-year-old Dutchess County man is accused of knowingly exposing his alleged male sex partner to the AIDS virus. He's currently locked up in the Dutchess County Jail. Animal rights activists tried to put the brakes on the 1991 truck and van show at the Empire State Plaza. The groups are opposed to General Motors' apparent use of animals in automobile lab testing. GM maintains the protesters were off base, saying they no longer use the limited animal testing they used many years ago. Well, time now to get the first word on sports and weather together, up front, fast, and together. John Graney kicks off from News Center.
Okay, thank you, Ernie. The Braves arrived back in Atlanta to begin the most important baseball series played down south since 1982. Terry Pendleton's home run solidified his credentials as an MVP candidate as the Braves put the pressure on with a 5-2 win over Houston to take a half-game lead in the NL West. Meanwhile, winners in area high school football tonight include Johnstown, Mohonasen, Saratoga, and Ballston Spa. Other winners, Taconic Hills, Catholic High, and Shenandoah. We're still waiting to hear from that Guilderland game. Nobody's called that in yet. If you would do so, do it right now. Now let's check out tomorrow's weather live in our Weather Center with Neal.
Hi, John. Thank you very, very much. We did have some showers here this evening, but most of the showers have ended. There's still a few here or there. So what will you see as you wake up tomorrow? Well, I'm being optimistic for tomorrow morning, saying partly sunny. I think most of the showers will have moved well to the north. Start out the day around 60 degrees, winds from the south picking up a bit, and the sunrise at 4 minutes before 7. Tomorrow's weather is looking darn good. I'll have more in the forecast coming up in 2 minutes.
Well, still to come on the Night Team Report, Proctor's opens its season with one singular sensation, dancing along the chorus line. A little later.
News Center 6 weather is sponsored by Frederick Funeral Home.
Well, it's Friday night. Some teens are partying tonight. Others are working. We go behind the scenes with a group of teens who have been working to help their peers with everything from alcohol abuse to problems of depression and suicide. Night Team reporter Marianne Worley has the story of Teen Talk.
Hello, Teen Talk. Teen Talk is a hotline for Saratoga County teens who need to talk anonymously to other teens about what's bothering them, from being lonely to really serious problems.
We've had suicide calls. We've had calls about people who are alcoholics. I can't really go into the details of any of those calls, but pregnancy calls, those type of things.
Josh Knight is one of about 24 teen volunteers who man the phones as part of the Captain program. The idea is to get teens to talk about their problems, and hopefully they'll never have to turn to drugs.
I've noticed that when I've heard someone talking about a drug problem, what they really refer to as an alcohol problem. And I've seen more alcohol than any other drug, and alcohol is a drug.
I've taken an alcoholic call. They just say, I don't know if I need help. And we just talked it through, and I gave them a referral number where they could call and get the help they need.
So while most teens are out enjoying a Friday night football game, others are giving their time willingly at Teen Talk. But Teen Talk and some of Captain's other programs are in danger. The reason, cuts in spending on virtually every level of government. Dried up funds are particularly frustrating for the people who run the program, especially when statistics as recent as this week show drug and alcohol abuse among young people is on the rise.
And people are still saying, well, there's an alcohol problem, there's a drug problem. You know, what are you doing about it? Well, we've got programs in place that could work if we could get government to make a commitment to care about these kids.
If I had a problem, I'd want somebody to talk to, too, and I just figured that I could be there for somebody.
Now, if you live in Saratoga County and would like to call Teen Talk, they're available Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. The number is 383-4680. You can also use that number to ask about other hotlines they run for young children and adults. Very good idea.
Great idea.
What's the weather story?
Well, we have a weekend with a little bit of everything. We have some sun, some clouds, some thunderstorms, some showers. We're going to be seeing a a change in the weather by the start of next work week, so get ready for some cooler weather, but it's going to take a while to get here. Let's see what we did today for temperatures. Made it up to 76 degrees. The low today, only 52. Very warm day. Average temperature came out to be 64, and that is considerably above normal. We should be having a high temperature of only 66 this time of year. Well, right now we do see partly cloudy skies. Had some clouds in here earlier, lots of clouds with some showers. Temperature right now 64 degrees, winds out of the south at 6. The relative humidity 78, barometer is steady, and the dew point right now is 57, and that's been dropping just a bit. All right, we want to show you the composite radar, and things have pretty much dried up through New York State, as you can see. Still some showers over New England. There's a warm front lifting to the north. That triggered some showers earlier today. Also off to the west, out in around Buffalo, Cattaraugus County, they had some big weather tonight with some severe weather. Off to the west even further, this is where the big storm is starting to really intensify quite a bit. It's moving to the north-northeast, and it's going to be moving up into the Great Lakes, bringing with it that rain and the thunderstorms. It's going to be slow to move in here, though, so I think tomorrow is going to be a pretty good day. The clouds will stay off to our west. We'll be right on the edge of those clouds. Most of these through New York are on their way north, so we'll see improving weather for overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Maybe a late day thunder shower tomorrow afternoon, but the worst day probably for the weekend will be Sunday. You can see the storm really starting to crank up now with the thunderstorms developing ahead of a cold front which is sweeping across the country right now up the Mississippi Valley. And on the backside of this storm, this is where the snow is falling. So the cold air plunging south, the warm air rising north, and we'll see another warm day tomorrow with high temperatures in the 70s. That front will get a little closer tomorrow, so that's why there's a chance of thunderstorms, especially western sections of the viewing area, and certainly out around Buffalo. If you're heading out there, watch out for thunderstorms. On the backside of the storm, this is where we get the snow. That colder air is going to be filtering in here, but we won't see snow in our forecast. I will have the forecast for you right after this. All right, for the rest of the night, it's going to be fairly quiet. It's going to be a mild night. A few showers here or there, but most of them will be ending by morning. Low of 55 degrees. Saturday, it's looking nice. Mostly sunny, breezy, maybe a late-day thunderstorm, 74 for a high. And winds will be quite strong tomorrow from the south, 15 to 25. If you're boating, watch out for that. Showers, thunderstorms develop again tomorrow night, later on, low of 55. Sunday, let's see, mostly cloudy skies with thunderstorms likely with showers throughout the day, high of 68. Then we cool down Monday, only 60 with showers. Tuesday, Wednesday will be dry and quite cool, highs only in the mid-50s here by Tuesday. So big cool.